Your boy Henny Demore over here at HTM Sports. Just wanted to go live this morning. Enjoy my cup of coffee. Just wanted to, hey, first and foremost, man, I almost forgot. Happy New Year's to all y'all, man. Hey, Happy New Year. Hope 2023 it has nothing but blessings and good stuff for y'all and y'all futures going forward, man. But yeah, I just wanted to get with y'all, man, before the game started. Give y'all my thoughts on some of the things, some of the stuff going on in the NFL right now. The Cowboys aren't on today, but there's still games that are going to affect us going forward. So I know a lot of y'all are going to be paying attention to that Philadelphia Eagles game, and it has been reported already that Jalen Hurts, their starting quarterback, is not going to play. So it's going to be up to Gardner Minshew to go and beat the Saints. And that's really the game I'm paying the most attention to because that's the game that's going to keep us alive in the hunt for the number one seed and for the NFC East division. If you're not familiar with the situation, the Cowboys have to win next week, and the Eagles have to lose this game and lose their next game against the Giants in order for the Cowboys to sneak in and take that number one seed. It's not really mathematically likely. Let's say they still got a very good team, even without Jalen Hurts. The Saints aren't that good. The Giants may not be playing for much at the end of the year. So we'll wait. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Another game that we should be keeping our eyes on, though, is going to be Tampa Bay against Carolina Panthers. That's really the game that's probably going to determine who we play first round of the playoffs. We're honest, because it's going to be very hard for us to catch the Eagles. This last week, and odds are we're going to be stuck in the fifth seed. So what happens today if Tampa Bay beats the Carolina? They're going to win the division. They'll be the four seed. We're going to go to Tampa Bay. However, if Carolina wins and then they win next week against the Saints, then they will win that division. They'll be the four seed. We'll be going to Carolina. That's what we need to be keeping our eyes on this morning. So what do y'all think, man? What who do y'all prefer us to play in the first round? If we're being honest, man, I don't too much care because the Cowboys are going to need to get their stuff together and play good football regardless of where we go. Because regardless of what we do, we'll still be playing a team that earned the right to be in the playoffs. Let's see. Hey, landlord, I see you tapping in with me. I appreciate you, kinfolk. Tupac with the Mohawk. What's good with you, man? Jazz and Jeff, appreciate y'all. Jeff, you say you prefer Carolina. It's a mixed bag with me. We're being honest, because Carolina, between them and Tampa Bay, they're the team with the better rushing offense. Carolina just rushed for over 300 yards the other game. They're a team that knows what they need to do to win games, and they're hot. They're hotter than Tampa Bay right now. Tampa Bay has been barely winning these games. They've lost some ugly games. They've been blown out. Carolina has won like four of the last six. They found their offensive identity. They got a running back that they rely on now. That Foreman boy. So I don't know. I honestly, man, I think it would do better for us to go to Tampa Bay and beat Tom Brady. Even though they're struggling, just the mental aspect of going on the road and beating somebody like Tom Brady with that playoff pedigree, I think it'd do something mentally for the Dallas Cowboys going forward. And look, I think we're a better team than both of these guys. That both teams, I think Dallas Cowboys are better top to bottom. But I do believe, it would be pay more dividends to go and beat Tampa Bay. But like hell, the Eagles may not handle business though. No, I'm talking like we're gonna be stuck in the five seed. There's still a chance we could get a bye or get the one or two seed if the Eagles falter. Because Jalen Hurts is not gonna play again today. They're playing a Saints team that still has stuff to play for. There's a very slim chance that the Saints can still make the playoffs. So they're not gonna tank. Matter of fact, the Saints don't even have that first round pick, so they can't tank. So they have no choice but to try and get into the playoffs. They earn nothing. Matter of fact, the Eagles have their damn pick. So if I'm the Saints, it'd be best to go in there try to beat the Eagles, and instead of coming off a top five pick, try to sneak into the playoffs, and they only get maybe a 20th pick, a 17th pick, or something. That's the mindset the Saints to have because ain't no way in hell I trade the Eagles a first round pick, it become a top five, and they turn around and beat the brakes off me. No, that's disrespectful. Let's see. other games, like none of the other games really have bearings on us though. Those are really the only two that have anything to do with us. Because it doesn't really help us if the Vikings lose or the Packers win. Like those are the only two that affect us going forward. But yeah, man, hey, it's a new year, and just got to say this. Beginning of the year, a lot of y'all was saying the Dallas Cowboys would be a 9-win team. Like you said, that will be a 9-win team, an 8-win team at best. Those were the words that y'all used. Look up, we're 12-4 with a chance to still be the one seed in the NFL. And I get it. I was down on us too. I didn't think we win 12 games. I predicted us going 11-6. So we're doing better than even I predicted. But when you look at the personnel that we lost, we lost Amari Cooper, we lost Cedric Wilson, we lost Lael Collins, even though I didn't think he played good last year. Lost Connor Williams, even though I thought he was the weak link on the line. You know, lost Randy Gregory, and we still produce. We still got a top 3 offense. I think we're the best offense in football since Dak Prescott returned from injury. We still got a top defense. So I just want to take my hats off to the coaching staff for putting this all together. Because there were plenty of times we could have faltered, especially when Dak got hurt. A lot of people thought the season was over at that point. But just to show the resiliency that we showed, to be able to be competitive, to be able to be right where we want to be at the end of the season, man, that's crazy. When you just think about everything that's happened from the off season stuff to the injury concerns, and hell, we're still dealing with injury concerns. We done been playing with almost half our defense injured. We're still finding ways to win these games. So yeah, that's all. But hey, what do y'all want to talk about in the chat though? I see y'all in here tuning in with me, watching. What do y'all want to? I'm taking questions. Yes, sir. However y'all feel about right now. This is an early morning show. A lot of y'all ain't up. Just having my morning coffee. Just wanted to share my thoughts with y'all. See what y'all were talking about. See what we want to do. Questions, concerns. Matter of fact, how do y'all feel about our number 2 cornerback position? That's probably the weakest link on our defense so far. Yeah, that in the run defense. Run defense is shaky at our number 2 corner. Because I take my hats off to Nation Wright. He got thrown into the fire. It wasn't his position to have. He went out there. He got his hand on the ball, but he got towed up last game, man. Like if you look at his raw numbers, he was targeted 10 times, gave up 7 receptions, 105 yards. What he didn't grade out good outside of the interception. What he did not do though was give up a touchdown. I will say that. So that's the one advantage he does have over Kelvin Joseph. He did not give up a touchdown, and he got his hand on the ball. And he's still a very young dude. Like he got the physical gifts. I believe he runs like a 4.5. He's a 6'4" cornerback, long athletic. So like he got the physical tools to be a good corner in the NFL. But like going into the playoffs when you're playing these veteran quarterbacks, you're playing these guys that know how to pick on guys. Like that is concerning. Because there's only so much you can do to hide a guy like him. Even if you roll coverage, like once you give somebody help, you're weakening another side of your defense. So let's say you do give him safety help. So like you gotta trust Trayvon Diggs and to run blend to hold up single coverage on the other side. And sometimes you need to everybody need help eventually. So what I'm saying? Like giving somebody help is not always the best thing to do. Like so you might have to go out there and take his lumps. But the only saving grace there really aren't that many veteran quarterbacks going to be in the playoffs this year. Jalen Hurts has never won a playoff game. He played in one, got blew out. Brock Purdy has never played in a playoff game before. Let's see who else in the NFC that's going to the playoffs. Tom Brady will probably be the most experienced. He will be the most experienced guy in there if he makes it in. Because if he doesn't, Sam Darnold has no playoff experience. If the Panthers get in, so we might be able to sneak by with the defensive back groups that we have, but like that is still concerning. We really just look at that. through that microscope like that. So I don't know, but hopefully we're never put into a position where it comes down to that. And let's see, Kellen Moore play comp. That is the elephant in the room because like as much good stuff as we've done, it could all be derailed if Kellen Moore gets pass happy at any point during this playoff run. Because when you think about it, the run, our run blocking has taken a hit, ever since Terrence Steele went down with injury. Like I had a graph. Let's see if I can find it. I'll give y'all these numbers. They were very interesting about our rushing yards per attempt. So let's see if I can find it real quick. Went right to it. Okay. So the Indianapolis game, right? This is the game before Terrence Steele got hurt. We averaged 6.2 yards a carry, all right, per rushing attempt by the running backs. Houston, it dropped to 4.2. That is the game where Terrence Steele had to leave midway through. Jacksonville, that's the following week. No Terrence Steele, 3.8 yards an attempt. Philadelphia, no Terrence Steele again, 3 yards an attempt. Tennessee, 2.6 yards an attempt when the running backs try to run the ball. So our run blocking has not been up to par these last 4 weeks. We're being honest, not from where we were. There were games there was a game where we averaged 7 yards an attempt by the running backs. There have been multiple games where we averaged over 6 yards an attempt. Multiple games we averaged over 5 yards an attempt by the running backs. So these last couple of games, that's concerning. That's really concerning if you think about what the strength of our offense is. Like I do think Dak Prescott is a top 10 quarterback. I do think he is a good player. But the best way to win a football game is to shorten the game, control it, score, and put more pressure on the opposing offense. To match your point total and your point output. So you need to win the turnover battle. You need to win time of possession. You need to be efficient on first down, win at the chain. You need to convert on third down to keep possessions alive. Things like that. Those are things that your run game help you with. Your run game definitely helps you with those things. And I'm not saying Dak Prescott is a bad quarterback. I think he is probably a top five. He's playing like a top five quarterback right now. We're being honest, because you look at all the advanced metrics. He's second in completion percentage, first in success rate. He's top 5 in QBR. He's top in passer rating. He's thrown the most touchdowns since week 7. He's thrown 22 touchdowns since week 7. It's the most in the NFL right now. So he's playing real damn good football. But even with that, we will still need a running game to complement what he's doing as a quarterback. Let's see. Nelly Rogers. Hey, what's up with you? Hey, appreciate you tapping in, Nelly. Appreciate you for joining us this early Sunday morning. But yeah, so yeah, we'll need to stick with the run game. And Kellen Moore is a guy that has issues with that. Kellen Moore is a guy that has gotten away from the run games several times. Like ever since he's been a offensive coordinator, like last year, we averaged damn near 39 passing attempts a game. So no, I can't really trust Kellen Moore to do that, especially if we're running the way we are. If we're still only getting 3.2 yards a carry and things along those lines, like if he's not getting the chunk plays he used to in the run game, it's going to be hard for me to trust Kellen Moore just off his track record to stick with it. So that is a concern going to the playoffs. But hell, you got to hold the Big Mike, keep him in check. Because look, I'm saying I have these concerns with Kellen Moore. We're still top in rushing attempts. I have to give him credit for that. We still run the ball more than most teams in football. I can give you the exact numbers on that. Let's see, rushing attempts per game. That's Cowboys. Rush the ball 31.5 times a game. That is good for 5th in the NFL. The only teams that run the ball more than us are the Chicago Bears, the Philadelphia Eagles, the Atlanta Falcons, and the Cleveland Browns. So we're a top five rushing team. We try to run the ball more often than most teams do. Matter of fact, these past 3 weeks we're averaging 34 rushing attempts a game. So I have to give Kellen more credit for that. I say that I don't trust him to keep running the ball, but he has been up to this point. So I have to give him credit for that. I just need to see when the rubber meets the road, will he actually do so? So yeah, that is a concern. But Dak Prescott is not a concern of mine. I trust Dak Prescott. I've seen him throw 300 yards and 3 touchdowns in a playoff game. I trust Ezekiel Elliott. I've seen him have big playoff games, especially one playoff game we won since he's been here. He had a must game against the Seattle Seahawks. I really trust Michael Parsons. Yeah, situational play calling is always going to be a issue with Kellen Moore. The reverses after a positive play, the double reverses, the flea flickers being from unprompted. Yeah, like Kellen Moore confuses the hell out of me. He will have a set of plays that work, and then call a trick play. Like bad teams call trick plays. Teams that can effectively run the ball, that can effectively throw the ball down the field, should not call trick plays. Like it doesn't make sense to me. That's something that the Cleveland Browns should do. That's something that the Jets should be doing. We have a great offense. You laughing? I'm for real though, man. Like that's some JV varsity shit they be doing. I will never understand that. A good football team has no need to call trick plays. Once you start seeing trick plays coming out of nowhere, you know for sure you don't have a good team. But we got a great team. We got a 1,300-yard receiver, boy. Matter of fact, hey, shout out to CD Lamb. There was a bunch of question marks around if he could be a true number one receiver coming into the season, and he's answered all of them. Like he's a 1,300-yard receiver. Like he's top in a bunch of stats right now. Matter of fact, y'all know if I ever stop during the show and start clicking on this computer, y'all know I'm finna pull up stats. This is how I am. I like to be practical and precise and all the other good stuff. So let me pull up what CD Lamb receiving yardage is this year. Share that with y'all. So boom. Let's see. All right. Man, look, CD Lamb, look, I know nobody else has played yet. So at this time, right now, 11:12 a.m. my time, January 1st of 2023, CD Lamb is fourth in receiving yards. He is third in receptions and touchdown receptions. He is, hold on. Yeah, the damn thing froze up on me. Boy, it was show me. There it go. And he's fifth in touchdown receptions. We're tied for fifth. So yeah, CD Lamb having a monster season. He is having a monster season. So like I gotta take my hats off to CD Lamb, man. He's doing something that not a lot of people actually expected him to be able to do. Carry the load. And when I talk about CD Lamb, I do have to give Kellen Moore some credit. Last year we were talking about how his offense does not target one particular receiver. That's why Amari Cooper was frustrated. That's why, like he spoke up about his targets. He Kellen Moore has always been a guy that believes his system makes players and not that his player makes his system. But this year, he is giving CD Lamb number one receiver targets. He's moving CD Lamb around. He's putting CD Lamb in the slot a lot. He's using CD Lamb as the motion guy. He's being very creative in the ways that he utilizes CD Lamb in the Cowboys offense and has been paying dividends throughout the course of the season. So like CD Lamb, like they are trying to bracket cover CD Lamb now, and Kellen Moore had actually put him in position to not be bracket covered a lot. Because look, it's hard as hell to double team the motion guy. He coming across the field, so you're gonna put two guys in motion with CD Lamb. You're not gonna do that. When you put a guy in the slot, it's hard as hell to double team him because you got to bring somebody all the way out of coverage into the middle of the field, and you're gonna vacate a large void behind it to open up big plays down the middle and things along those lines. So Kellen Moore, as much as I criticize him, he has done a lot of good things this season. I just have to see it translate over into the postseason because, like, let's be real. The play that everybody really drags Kellen Moore for is the quarterback draw with no timeouts left and limited time in that San Francisco game. That's really the play that people think about when it comes to Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore is going to have postseason success before anybody gives Kellen Moore his flowers. It may not be fair. I think it's fair as hell, if we're being honest, because he's had a good quarterback since he's been an offensive coordinator. And and we're being honest, a lot of his success has been tied to Dak Prescott being healthy and playing well. When Dak Prescott is not there, we do not have a top offense. When Dak Prescott is not there, our offense does not look, creative. It does not look ingenuitive. It does not look any of those things. It looks very lackluster. But when Dak Prescott is the quarterback, we go from a 26th ranked unit to a number one unit. So that's very telling about Kellen Moore. And I'm not saying that he is supposed to have an all-world offense with a backup quarterback. That is not what I'm saying. But when you look at a guy like Kyle Shanahan, his offensive system, when he has a top quarterback, they're an MVP. Because Matt Ryan won an MVP in Kyle Shanahan's system. When he doesn't have an upper echelon quarterback, his offense still rolls. Because Jimmy G, he still run that offense very well when he's healthy. They still move the ball. They still score points. Brock Purdy, a guy with limited NFL experience, limited snaps, came in. They're still scoring points. They still blowing teams out. He not getting away from his bread and butter, which is the run game and the play action off of it. So like he has an offensive identity that he can lean on and a set of plays that he knows nine times out of 10 works that he can use to get his team back on track. I don't think Kellen Moore had gotten that deep into his bag yet. Yeah, Lucky Johnson, you are right. Because Shanahan does have that pedigree. His daddy was a fool. His daddy was cold. Like I said, he does have that pedigree of being a coach's son, a Hall of Fame coach's son at that. So yeah, Kellen Moore, not so much. But Kellen Moore doesn't have a super bad coaching tree when you think about it. I know that Linehan is not y'all favorite guy, but he's had success in the NFL. So and look, Linehan was running the ball. So like I do understand this, but when Linehan was the offensive coordinator of the Dallas Cowboys, you never have to worry about Ezekiel Elliott getting the necessary touches. Matter of fact, all of Ezekiel Elliott's rushing titles came with Linehan as the OC. So like yeah, like that is true. But is Kellen Moore actually using everything that he's been taught? That is a fair question because Linehan orchestrated one of the best rushing offenses in all of football when he was the offensive coordinator. Now you're seeing more of it this year, but it was like pulling teeth. Like he's been the offensive coordinator of our team since when? 2000, 2019. Kellen Moore has been the offensive coordinator of the Dallas Cowboys since 2019. And it's taken up to this long for him to actually initiate running the football. Yeah, he said whoever the OC at Boise when Kellen was there is the coaching tree he following. It has to be because he can't be following his NFL coaching tree because Linehan wasn't. Hey, listen, our biggest complaint with Linehan was that he didn't throw the ball enough. We said he was not creative enough in the passing game. We never had any issues with Linehan running the ball. So like you would think though, Kellen Moore coming from Boise background, having that Linehan background, he would have a nice mixture of both. And like I think once Kellen Moore, I will say this to be fair, Kellen Moore has not fully developed into the offensive coach that he will be down the line. He is still a very young man. He has only had this offensive coordinating job for a couple of years. He is not fully developed into the play caller that he is going to be. So I think maybe down the line he can be the offensive coordinator we want him to be. But at this point, as long as he's been here, I don't think Kellen Moore is going to get it together until he goes to a whole nother team. If we're being honest with you, I think once Kellen Moore develops to the offensive coordinator that he can be, he's going to be somebody like a Kyle Shanahan. He's going to be somebody that can implement a good run game with a good run scheme, and have multiple play action shot plays off of that. That really is the guy that Kellen Moore should be. Like he should mold himself like a Kyle Shanahan. He should do some of the things like they do, like McVay does with the Rams. Because I know like the passing game gets all the love there, but when they were at their best, it was always a play action system. That's how Todd Gurley was getting off. They were giving Todd Gurley an excessive number of touches, setting up their play action for golf on the back end when they made their first Super Bowl runs. So like a lot of these coaches, I know the passing game is the hot commodity in the NFL, but a lot of these coaches are basing a lot of what other concepts off of the play action. So Kellen Moore, you can do the same exact thing. Like he does have some cold concepts, but like it's actually when he needs to call it. Like he's good at play design, he's good at orchestrating plays, but I don't think he has a great feel yet of when to call these plays. Because like Kellen Moore is the kind of guy that would throw the ball 3 times consecutively in the fourth quarter when he's up two possessions. Like that is a bad set of play calling. Like there's no reason at that point to be still trying to play for points. Like late in the fourth quarter, 2 possession lead, you got the ball. You need to be trying to implement like 4 minute, 6 minute offense. You need to be trying to sit on the ball, take as much time as you can. You're at that point you're playing for first downs. You're not playing for scores. You know what I mean? You're playing for first downs to prolong that possession so that the other team doesn't get the ball back with a chance to have a comeback. Kellen Moore a lot of times gets pass happy even when he's up a lot. Like even in that Jacksonville game, right? We were up 17 points. They had a big play, a 50+ yard play for a touchdown. We got the ball back up 10. There was really no reason. I know the interception is on Dak Prescott, but Kellen Moore is the one that called that play up. Because remember, it was 2 consecutive pass plays that got us backed up like that. The first pass play, Dak Prescott sacked on it. The second pass play is when he threw the interception. We should have still been trying to run the ball with a 2 possession lead, backed up in our old like landlord was saying, that's situational football. Backed up, already up multiple possessions. There's no reason to be trying to fling the ball down the field. Like run your best run play. The run play because because they got analytics too. The run play that you get 5 yards on 60% of the time, 70% of the time should have been the first play that you ran, and then you could have worked from there once you had some more wiggle room. But like 2 back-to-back pass plays in the shadow of your own goal post is never good, and this is something that he does all the time. Yes, Green Bay game, like he panicked. Like we were up 17, the defense gave up a big play on fourth down to give up a touchdown. We get the ball back. We're still up 7 points. It's the fourth quarter. We're still up a possession. You do not have to go out there and try to chunk the ball 40 yards down the field. You still have the ball, and you still have time to like shorten the game. Like the reason that Aaron Rodgers was able to have a comeback against you is because you gave him enough time to come back against you. If you shorten the game once you get a lead, then the game is over. The other team cannot come back without the ball. So those are my concerns with Kellen Moore. Situational football, staying with the run, being competent in the playoffs to do so. But I'm confident in a lot of other aspects of the team, though. I'm confident in Dak Prescott. Listen, like I try to be positive about things. I'm confident in our quarterback, and if I'm being honest with y'all, man, I am confident in Mike McCarthy. Because say what you want about Mike McCarthy, I know that he had bad clock management, all this other stuff, but he has gotten this team to a 12-win season consecutive times. Mike McCarthy, even though he had Aaron Rodgers, he was the only coach that won the Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers. This other guy, they're getting to the NFC Championship game and losing. Mike McCarthy has a Super Bowl win and multiple appearances in the NFC Championship game. You can say what you want about him, but if he did that in Dallas, like y'all will be praising him just like y'all praising Jimmy Johnson. So like I do trust Big Mike. I do trust him because he has the pedigree that says that I should trust him. Because he had more him as a coach has had more success in the last 15 years than our franchise has in the last 26. You have to trust production like that. You just got to. So I trust our quarterback. I trust our offense for the most part. I trust Big Mike. And look, I still trust Dan Quinn. I know the defense has not been playing up to the level that it usually does, but like when you account for the amount of injuries that they've had, they're playing damn good football. Like you're missing your outside corner in Anthony Brown. You're missing Jordan Lewis, who is a veteran slot. You're missing Leighton Van Der Esch, who is your starting middle linebacker. You're missing Hankins, who you brought in to stop the run. And then when you factor in like a guy like Sam Williams had missed a game or two. You factor in that our safeties have been getting banged up. I know they haven't missed time, but J-Ron Curse is gimped. You know, he's been getting gimped a lot throughout the season. Donovan Wilson has been gimped a lot throughout the season due to them playing a lot in the box. Even Michael Parsons dealing with a hand injury. So we got lingering injuries on our defense. We got guys missing, and they're still out there performing. Like even in that Eagles game, yeah, Gardner Minshew was getting off, but they forced 4 turnovers. Like you can't be mad at that. You can't be mad at that. So like yeah, I trust a lot of aspects of our team going forward. I think we have a team to compete. Now, when we actually know who we're playing, where we're playing, all the other stuff, I'm gonna go deeper into the numbers and things along those lines. Like I haven't really did a bunch of research on the Panthers. I haven't done a bunch of research on the Bucks because there's no guarantee of who we play, and if we win the division, there's a possibility that we don't play either one of them. So I'm just waiting to see before I come out because I like to be thorough. Because once I know who we have, I'm gonna go and do the analytics, to do the number breakdown, watch some film, all the other good stuff. But in the meantime, man, we can only talk about scenarios and how we emotionally feel about our team going forward. Because look, we don't play another meaningful game until the playoffs. Because if Philly handles business next week, doesn't even really matter. If Philly handles business, matter of fact, that is something I want to know. How do y'all feel? If Philly wins, do you want our players to play or do you want them to sit? Do you feel it is do you think that it will be, let's see, conducive to our success if we play our guys this last game of the season with nothing to play for, or do you think it's better that we get rest? And I'm honestly, me personally, I'm on the fence because I've seen us with a first round bye come out flat against the Green Bay Packers and lose. I seen us, yeah, that's twice. We had a bye against the Packers 2 times actually. 2016, we had a first round bye going to the playoffs. Played the Packers, started off slow. We got it together late, still lost the game. Same thing this year. Had a bye week, came out flat against the Packers. Then they tried to, we went up 14 points, still lost the game. But on the same token, we played everybody last year in the season finale against the Eagles. Beat the brakes off them. Dak Prescott threw 5 touchdowns, broke the franchise record against franchise record for most passing touchdowns in the season. We felt good about ourselves. Went out in the playoffs and got beat down physically. Cause I'm not like the score. Like the score was close, but like physically in the trenches, they were whooping our ass on both sides of the ball. So like, I've seen us fail doing both. So I really don't think there's a formula for it. I think like Mike McCarthy knows this team, the coaching staff and the personnel knows this team. They should do whatever they feel is best for the team going forward. Because I've seen us have buys and come out and sluggish and lose the game eventually. But I've seen us play everybody and still come out sluggish. So I don't even think there's a correlation between it at this point. If we're being honest, I think the guys that are really injured don't need to play anyway because we need them for the playoffs. So the guys that can go, let them go. And that probably would be a good mix. Play until halftime. Play your guys until halftime so they have a little bit of work and a little bit of rest. So that might be the nice medium. Instead of playing everybody playing the whole game or nobody playing at all, treat this like a padded practice. Game doesn't really matter. But at the same token, if you play Dak Prescott, I don't think you can take him out the game. I don't think because Dak Prescott has not set out of a season finale since 2016. 2016, he played into the second quarter. They set him, and that's been the last time he ever set out of a season finale. 2017 with nothing to play for, he played. 2018 with a playoff spot already secured, nothing to play for, he played. 2019, we still had a chance to make the playoffs, even though it was unlikely. He still played. 2020, he was hurt, so that's the only other time I could think of. 2021, nothing to play for. He played, threw 5 touchdowns. So like Dak Prescott, if given the opportunity, is going to play. I think that's just him. I think he likes to play. He likes the reps. He likes. If we're being honest, he probably likes the numbers too. Nothing wrong with that. Get your money. But other guys we could sit like shit. Send Dak Prescott out there. I just had a wonderful idea, man. Game means nothing, right? Play Jalen Tolbert with Dak Prescott this last game of the season. That way you can rest the guys that you plan on playing in the playoffs. Dak Prescott can play like he normally does, and you can see if there's something there with Jalen Tolbert. Play Jalen Tolbert, uh, play James Washington, play these other skill guys that ain't got no burn and see if there's anything there. You have nothing to lose. Because you don't want CD Lamb to get nicked in the last game of the season if it ain't gonna matter. Because this is a mute point. I actually want everybody to play. If the Eagles lose today, I want everybody to play. That's a mute point. If we have a chance to win the division, we need to go out there, beat the brakes off of Washington, just for that general purpose, and then we'll wait to see the result of the Eagles game against the Giants. But they win today. Play Jalen Tolbert, play some of these other guys that don't get a lot of burn. I know it's going to be hard to pull Dak Prescott because he don't like to sit out, but at least let them play a half together and see what's there. So I think so. Patrick, yeah, I think that is a great idea. Patrick Lucky played the first half of football, and then, like I said, if the Eagles actually choke this game away, then they should probably play the entire thing, force their hands to play their starters week 17, week 18. I mean, uh, let's see. Any other questions, man? No, this show is really for y'all. I'm just trying something new. I don't usually go live. I'm usually the article guy. But like if I get enough positive feedback on this show, I'll keep them coming throughout the new year. Make more content for y'all. We can talk football together, air out our grievances about some of the things that go on during the games. You know how that stuff goes. Talk about stats, analytics, film, player development, coaching, whatever y'all want to talk about. Like it's never a bad time to talk football, man. I say 11:33 on a Sunday morning. Perfect time to talk football. Getting ready for the games to come on. Let's see. Questions. Let's see. Do you think Tony Pollard should play anymore until the playoffs? Yes, with a caveat. Play Tony Pollard enough for him to get his 1,000 yards. You owe it to Tony Pollard to do that. He's only like 12 rushing yards away. So give Tony Pollard the ball enough for him to get 12 rushing yards and pull. So reward Tony Pollard for being a good teammate. Reward him for producing all year. Let him get the 1,000 yards. You know, so let Tony Pollard get a couple carries and then set him down. You reward players like that. It'll be his first career 1,000 yard season. He already your leading rusher. He already leads the team in total touchdowns. Well, I don't know. He was leading the team in total touchdowns. I don't know if Zeke done caught him yet or not. But he's been productive for us. The entire season. He's your leading rusher. At one point, he was leading you in touchdowns. He leads your team in explosive plays. Give Tony Pollard some love, man. Let him get the 1,000 yards. But if he really ain't good to go, then no. If there's any questions about that hamstring, then no. But if he feel good, let him get that 1,000 yards. I would say the same for Zeke, but he needs so many yards, and we'll need Zeke so much during the course of the playoffs. Like, man, I don't want to even risk Zeke taking any more punishment. I think Zeke doesn't need to play at all this last game of the season. Let Malik Davis go. See what other I don't know what other running back we have on the roster we can bring up. But I would sit Zeke because he needs to be a workhorse during the playoffs. Like the Zeke needs 25 carries during the playoffs. Like let Zeke, let Zeke eat. Let him be that workhorse. Like hell, really, I want us first game of the playoffs to run the ball down there like 40 times. I want us to run the ball about 40 times. Even if that's a clean split, 20-20 for Zeke, 20 for Pollard. If it's 25 Zeke, 15 for Pollard. If it's 15 for Zeke, 25 for Pollard. Whoever the hot hand who is producing, I want us to run the ball at least 40 times. That way, you take a lot of pressure off of Dak Prescott, who's he hears a lot of this crazy shit. He hear about how he can't produce in the postseason. He hears about that. Give Dak Prescott an easy game. Give Dak Prescott confidence for the rest of the playoffs. Because if we are stuck in the fifth seed, we will be a better team than whoever we play against. All right, we will be a much better team than whoever we play against. Because at this point in the season, you are who the hell your record says you are. I know the Bucks got Tom Brady. They are not a better team than the Dallas Cowboys, top to bottom. When you look at the guys, Julio Jones has been inconsistent. He's been hobbled and injured. He's older in age. That offensive line has not held up well. Tom Brady has not played well. That defense is a little iffy against the run now with Noah and Dominican Sue. So they are a team we can go in there and beat. Same thing with the Panthers. Like nobody believes in Sam Darnold. Nobody really trusts that team coming in. We should be favored in both of these matchups. But even with that, we don't need to go in here throwing the ball 40 times all around the yard. Make it easy for Dak Prescott. One of the best games I've seen for Dak Prescott, he threw the ball under 20 times, still threw 4 touchdowns, still was efficient. And it was a game, matter of fact, coincidentally, against the Panthers last year. So, like, we don't need Dak Prescott to throw the ball a lot for him to be effective. Dak Prescott is one of the most efficient quarterbacks in the NFL. If you give him a great running game and you can set up play action where his guys are getting open, he doesn't have to complete all these tight window throws. Then, like, man, Dak Prescott is going to kill a defense. So that should be the thing we do the very first playoff game we play. Get Dak Prescott some confidence in the actual playoff game. I don't need Dak Prescott to be confident against the Washington Commanders or whatever they are. He beats them all the time. He hasn't lost to the Commanders in 5 years. He did not care about beating the Commanders. Give him some confidence in this playoff game that's coming up. You're going to be favored. You should be able to run the ball the way you want to, even with the injuries and the issues along the offensive line. Set up the run game. Give Dak Prescott some easy chunk plays down the field. Set up some easy play action reads for him. Don't make him go out there and win this game for you. Build his confidence. So if a situation down the line in the playoff does come up, Dak Prescott already has won a playoff game this year. He already has that confidence of playing a good game in the playoffs. You can rely on him at that point. Build up his self esteem, his confidence in himself in the moments in the playoffs, and you build off that going forward. But just don't come out the gate throwing the ball 40 times. Lean on that run game, like Zeke. Like there's no telling how long because you're a running back. Ezekiel Elliott is a running back. There's no telling how many more opportunities Zeke is going to get to play in the playoffs. Give Zeke the ball. Give Tony Pollard the ball because you don't even know what Tony Pollard can be in your team next year. Use these guys excessively. If you're gonna lose them, use them. Use these guys excessively in the playoffs, especially this first game, to set up what you want to do moving forward. Because you need that. You need that continuity. You need your quarterback having confidence, and you know what? We need to cut down on the turnovers. I know because I look at advanced analytics, half the turnovers are not on Dak Prescott. There's literally a stat from Pro Football Focus showing that 7 of his interceptions came on non-turnover worthy plays, meaning that either the receiver ran the wrong route, juggled the ball into the hands of the defender, or Prescott was hit and the errant throw was forced by another defender. So, like, there are plenty of plays like that. But at the same time, when you are a team that's having a turnover issue, you make the game easy for the quarterback. You give him easier throws. You build his confidence, and like hell, that Prescott can be a part of the run game as well. You see, he's still mobile. Like he is still a mobile quarterback. He will not be able to run, a lot more these years coming up when he gets into his 30s. But he's still a 29-year-old man. He still has his athleticism. So before you hinder Dak Prescott and just leave him in the pocket, let him use his athleticism while he still has it to put us in advantageous, situations going forward. So yeah, that's what I want to see. I want to see a large dose of the run game. I want to see play action. And I do want to see shots down the field. Because when you got a guy like T.Y. Hilton, you got a guy like C.D. Lamb who's been routing boys up and getting behind coverage with his route running. You want to see us take shots because we're running the ball that much. You can't also have a short passing game. You can't also just have a short dink and dunk passing game to complement your running game because they're already sitting on it. We're going to be in the box sitting on everything because you're running the ball effectively. You don't then pass short as well. You really what you want to do is you want to run the ball enough so where they have to sell out to stop you, so you can take the shot over top underneath their heads. Like you're earning the right to use the play action pass as an efficient weapon to get chunk plays, and like you're really wasting opportunities to play action and throw the ball 5 yards. You need to be taking these shots 15, 20 yards down the field because there will be big windows if they're bringing the safety up. There will be great windows. So yes, the penalties that what worries me. Yeah, I do think we have issues with penalties, but I will also say that they played cleaner football these last couple of weeks. I have to find the exact numbers, but we have not committed as many penalties as we usually do. So let's see, Dallas Cowboys. Let me go look. Let me see if I can find this because we haven't committed as many penalties as we were. Still probably more penalties than we would like. But let's see. Let's go to the pen. How many penalties did we commit in Philly? Let's see. Team stats. Okay. So look, In the Philadelphia game, we only committed 4 penalties for 36 yards. That's not bad at all. If we're being honest, 4 penalties for 36 yards is not bad, especially when you consider we had like a 15 penalty game in the playoffs. I forget the exact number, but we had double digit penalty game in the playoffs. We can overcome penalties. We just can't overcome double digit penalties. Like we can't overcome. I would say it like this: we can't overcome double digit penalties, and we can't overcome penalties that take points off the board or big plays off the board. Because in that San Francisco 49ers game, there were several times where penalties negated what would have been the best plays that Dak made that game. There was a big play down the field to CD Lamb that was negated, by a penalty. There were other completions throughout the day that were negated by penalties. Not only took us out of plus territory, but put us behind the sticks at that. So like we can overcome penalties, so we done it all year. But what we cannot overcome is an excessive amount of penalties and penalties in unideal situations. A penalty that happens on a third and long on a completion is different than a false start on 2nd and 2. You know what I mean? Like when the penalty happened and what kind of penalty it is plays a role in it as well. Because not all penalties are made the same. But yeah, I think we've been a little bit better in the penalty department. We're still one of the more penalized teams in the league because of how we started the season. But these last couple of weeks, we haven't been committing as many penalties as we used to. And it actually says a lot because we just played 3 games in 11 days. So to not have all these multiple penalty games where we have 10 penalties here, 14 penalties here. That at least that is a move in the right direction. We still need to work on that aspect. I can't argue with that, but I think they've been a little bit better in the penalty department as the season's gone on. Let's see. Any more questions? I'm always taking questions in the comment box. Any concerns? Any topics you want to talk about? But let's see. I got about another 14 minutes or so because I am going to tune in to these NFL games when they come on. So let's see. Any further questions? Talk to me. Let's see. Questions. Mike is a lot better than Jason Garrett. Yeah, he does. Like I like Mike more than I like Jason. I think Jason was probably a good dude, but I don't think he really had a full command over the team. Now you could argue that Mike doesn't, but I feel like the players respect the hell out of Mike McCarthy. Have you heard anything about Tyler Biadasz? He's gonna miss this game for sure. He has a high ankle sprain, and there's a possibility that he won't be back until the playoffs. He still might miss time in the playoffs, depending on the severity of the ankle sprain. But like it could be worse. He didn't tear an ACL. He doesn't have a ligament issue. He just has an ankle sprain. He should be back in time, but we'll see. Are we going to rest our starters next week against the Commanders? Well, Mr. Matoya, we actually touched on that a little bit earlier because like we already know if the Eagles lose today, we're going to play all our starters. We're going to play all our starters. If they win, however, I'm not sure what they would do. I'm not really sure because like I stated before, I've seen them rest. I've seen them have buys come out flat. I've seen them play everybody getting ready for the playoffs and come out flat. If it is going to be up to Mike McCarthy how he feels, this is going to affect his team. However he feels is going to be best for them to be ready for the playoffs. But I think I honestly I think regardless of what happened, Dak Prescott is going to play because that what history says. Dak Prescott always plays the season finale. But what I want to see is Jalen Tolbert get some burn. I want to if we're going to play a meaningless game next week, I want Jalen Tolbert to get some burn, maybe get a touchdown, try and build some positive traction going forward to next season for him. Let's see. Mm. Well, hey, we ain't gonna have any more questions, man. Then I appreciate y'all for tuning in, man, tapping in with me. Like I'll try to do these shows, talk to y'all about 50 minutes to an hour, more frequently, just to tap in with y'all. Appreciate y'all for the support. Pray y'all have a blessed and happy new year. I'm gonna get at y'all later. Peace.